everyone, and welcome back to English Podcast with PodQuiver. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Alex. Today we are diving into one of the most influential books of our time, Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Oh, I love this topic. But Alex, let me start with a confession. Every January, I start a diet. I go to the gym for 2 weeks. I see 0 results. And then I quit. Why does that always happen?
You are not alone, Sarah. The problem isn't you. The problem is that we are wired to expect immediate results. We want the prize now. But James Clear argues that success is not a sprint. It's a compound interest problem.
Compound interest? That's a finance term, right? Like when your money grows because the interest earns interest?
Exactly. But it applies to habits too. Let's look at the math. If you get just 1% better every day for 1 year, mathematically, you will end up 37 times better by the time you are done.
Wow, 37 times better? That sounds like magic. But what if I get 1% worse every day? Like I skip just one study session.
If you get 1% worse every day for a year, you decline nearly down to 0. The scary part is, in the beginning, there is basically no difference between making a good choice and a bad choice.
That is so true. If I eat a burger today, I don't instantly get fat. If I study English for 20 minutes today, I don't instantly become fluent. The gap is invisible.
Precisely. This is what we call delayed gratification. The reward comes much later. And because the reward is delayed, we enter a dangerous zone called the Valley of Disappointment.
The Valley of Disappointment. That sounds dramatic. Is that the period where I'm working hard but seeing nothing?
Yes. Imagine an ice cube sitting on a table in a cold room. The room is 25 degrees. You heat it up to 26. Nothing happens. 27. Nothing. 28. Still nothing.
I see where you're going. The ice is still solid even though you put in the energy to heat the room.
Right. But at 31 degrees, still nothing. Then, at 32 degrees, the ice begins to melt. Now, was it the 1-degree shift from 31 to 32 that melted it?
No, it was all the energy used to go from 25 to 31. The work was happening, but it was invisible.
Exactly. Clear calls this the plateau of latent potential. Latent means existing but not yet developed or manifest. Hidden.
It's like the bamboo tree story. You water it for 5 years and see nothing. Then, in 6 weeks, it grows 90 feet tall.
Perfect example. People see your success and call it an overnight success. They didn't see the 5 years of watering the ground.
So, when I quit the gym after 2 weeks because I didn't see muscles, I was actually just heating the room from 25 to 26 degrees?
You were building the foundation. You just quit before you hit 32 degrees. This is why atomic habits are important. Atoms are tiny, but they are the building blocks of everything.
Okay, before we move to the next concept, let's quickly review the big words we just used. Listeners, pay attention. First, compound.
Compound means something composed of 2 or more separate elements, or in math, to add interest to the principal sum. Basically, growth on top of growth.
Second, delayed gratification. This is the ability to resist the temptation for an immediate reward and wait for a later reward.
And third, latent. Latent. It means hidden or concealed. Like your English skills right now. You might feel like you aren't improving, but the potential is latent.
That makes me feel so much better about my progress. But Alex, surely we need big goals to succeed? If I want to learn English, I need a goal like pass the IELTS exam, right?
Actually, James Clear says that might be the wrong approach. In fact, he says winners and losers have the same goals. We will debate this controversial idea in part 2. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Before the break, I said something controversial. Winners and losers have the same goals.
Yeah, that stopped me in my tracks. Usually, gurus tell us, set bigger goals. But you're saying the goal isn't the difference maker?
Think about the Olympics. Every athlete there has the goal of winning a gold medal, but only one wins. So the goal didn't make them win. It was their training routine, their system, that made them win.
That makes sense. We suffer from survivorship bias. We look at the winner and say, oh, he had a big goal. But we ignore the 100 people who had the same goal but failed.
Exactly. And here is the second problem with goals. They are transient. They are temporary. Imagine you have a messy room. Your goal is to clean it.
Okay, so I spend 3 hours cleaning. Now I have a clean room. Goal achieved.
Yes, for now. But if you keep your sloppy habits, throwing clothes on the floor, the room will be messy again in 3 days. You treated the symptom, not the cause.
Wow, that hits home. So, cleaning the room is a goal, but putting clothes away immediately after wearing them is a system?
Bingo. Goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results.
But Alex, isn't it good to have a target? It motivates us.
It motivates, but it also restricts your happiness. This is the third problem, the either-or conflict. When you focus on a goal, you are telling yourself, I am not good enough yet. I will only be happy when I reach the goal.
Oh, I do this all the time with English. I tell myself, I'm terrible at English right now. I will be happy when I get a C1 score. So I spend years feeling miserable until that one day.
And that is the trap. A system-first mentality is different. You say, I am happy because I studied for 15 minutes today. You fall in love with the process, not the product.
I see. And what happens after you achieve the goal? Like people who run a marathon, do they keep running?
Often, no. That's the yo-yo effect. Once the goal is ticked off, the motivation disappears. That's why people lose weight for a wedding and then gain it all back a month later.
Because they were only running for the wedding. They weren't running to be a runner.
Exactly. Goals are for winning the game. Systems are for staying in the game. True long-term thinking is goalless thinking. It's not about hitting a single milestone. It's a cycle of endless refinement.
I love that. Goalless thinking. Okay, let's pause for our vocabulary check. We use some academic words there. First one, transient.
Transient means lasting only for a short time. Impermanent. Like a transient feeling of motivation.
Second word, symptom. This is usually medical, a sign of an illness. But here, we used it to mean the visible result of a deeper problem.
And third, refinement. The process of removing impurities or unwanted elements. Basically, making small improvements over and over again.
So, we need systems, not just goals. But Alex, changing a system is hard. If I'm a lazy person, how do I build a diligent system? It feels unnatural.
That brings us to the deepest layer of behavior change. It's not about what you do. It's about who you believe you are. We're talking about identity change in the next part.
Identity? Whoa. Okay, stay tuned, guys. We are going deep into psychology next.
Welcome back to part 3. We are going deep now. Imagine an onion. It has layers. James Clear says behavior change is like an onion with 3 layers.
Okay, I'm visualizing an onion. I'm trying not to cry. What are the layers?
The outer layer is outcomes. This is what you get, like losing weight or getting a C1 certificate. Most people focus here.
Right, that's the goal we talked about earlier.
Correct. The middle layer is process. This is what you do. Your gym routine, your study schedule. This is the system. But the center, the core, is identity.
Identity. This is what you believe. This sounds intense. Are you saying my beliefs change my habits?
Let me tell you a story about two people resisting a cigarette. It's the perfect example. Imagine I offer a cigarette to person A. Person A says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit."
That sounds like a reasonable answer. They are trying to stop.
It sounds reasonable, but think about the psychology. They still believe they are a smoker who is trying to be something else. They are hoping their behavior will change, but their identity is still smoker. Now, look at person B. I offer them a cigarette. They say, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker."
Oh, I feel the difference. It's subtle but powerful. I am not a smoker signals that the old life is gone. It's a statement of fact, not a wish.
Exactly. True behavior change is identity change. The goal is not to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. The goal is not to run a marathon. The goal is to become a runner.
But Alex, I have to challenge you on this. This sounds a lot like fake it till you make it. Isn't that just lying? If I say I am a fluent English speaker, but I make grammar mistakes, I feel like a fraud. I feel like an imposter.
That is a valid fear. That's called imposter syndrome. But here is the nuance. You can't just lie to yourself. Your brain is smart. If you say, "I'm a healthy person," but you eat pizza every day, your brain says, "Liar."
Exactly. So how do we fix that?
You need proof. James Clear has this beautiful metaphor. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become.
A vote? Like in an election?
Yes. No single vote wins the election. But if you cast enough votes, you win the majority. So, if you study English for 10 minutes today, you cast a vote for, "I am a studious person."
I see. So I don't need to be perfect. I just need to win the majority of the votes?
Precisely. You don't need a unanimous vote. You just need 51%. If you go to the gym 4 times a week, you have 4 votes for athlete and 3 votes for lazy. The athlete identity wins.
This changes everything. Because once you believe I am an athlete, going to the gym becomes easy. You don't have to force yourself. It's just what you do. It becomes intrinsic.
Intrinsic. That's a key word. It means coming from inside naturally. The alternative is fighting against yourself. If you believe I am bad at math, then studying math feels like torture. It creates cognitive dissonance.
Whoa, big fancy term alert. Cognitive dissonance. Break that down for us.
Cognitive relates to thinking. Dissonance means lack of harmony or tension. It's the mental stress you feel when your actions don't match your beliefs.
So, if I believe I am a healthy person, but I eat a donut, I feel stress?
Yes, and that stress is good. That stress pushes you to align your actions with your identity. You stop eating the donut because this isn't who I am. It's much stronger than willpower.
But this works in reverse too, right? Negative identity?
Unfortunately, yes. This is the self-fulfilling prophecy. If you tell yourself, "I have a terrible memory," you stop trying to remember things. Because you stop trying, your memory gets worse. And then you say, "See, I knew it."
That is terrifying. I do that. I often say I'm always late. And guess what? I'm always late.
You are casting votes for the identity of the late person. You need to start casting new votes.
Okay, so the practical takeaway here is to decide the type of person you want to be and prove it with small wins.
Yes. Ask yourself constantly, what would a healthy person do? What would a fluent English speaker do right now?
A fluent speaker would probably listen to the rest of this podcast.
Good point. Let's review the vocabulary before we wrap up this deep section. We covered 3 massive concepts. First, imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome, the persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved, feeling like a fake.
Second, cognitive dissonance. The state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes, especially relating to behavioral decisions and attitude change.
And third, self-fulfilling prophecy, a prediction that causes itself to become true due to. And third, self-fulfilling prophecy, a prediction that causes itself to become true due to the positive feedback between belief and behavior.
You nailed those definitions. So, we have the identity, we have the system, but how do we actually build the habit day to day? James Clear has 4 laws.
The 4 laws of behavior change. We will break them down into practical steps in the final part. Stick with us.
Welcome to the finish line. We have the mindset. Now we need the mechanics. James Clear distilled everything into the 4 laws of behavior change.
Let's go through them rapid-fire style. Law number 1.
Law 1. Make it obvious. Most people think they lack motivation, but they actually lack clarity.
This is about environment design, right? If I want to practice guitar, I shouldn't keep it in the closet.
Exactly. Put it in the middle of your living room. If you want to drink more water, put full water bottles everywhere. Visual cues trigger habits.
Okay, law 2. Make it attractive. We need dopamine. How do we make a boring habit attractive?
By using temptation bundling. You link an action you want to do with an action you need to do.
Like, I'm only allowed to check Instagram after I learn 5 new English words?
Perfect. Or listening to your favorite podcast only while cleaning the house. You bundle the pain with the pleasure.
Nice. Law 3. Make it easy. Human nature is lazy. We follow the path of least resistance.
Correct. You want to reduce friction for good habits and increase friction for bad habits. If you want to stop watching TV, unplug the TV and hide the remote in a drawer.
That sounds annoying.
That's the point. It adds 20 seconds of effort. That tiny friction is often enough to stop a bad habit. Also, use the 2-minute rule.
Oh, I love this rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do.
Yes. Don't say, I will read 30 pages. Say, I will read 1 page. Don't say, I will run 5 kilometers. Say, I will put on my running shoes.
You master the art of showing up. Once you are there, it's easy to continue.
Finally, Law 4. Make it satisfying. This brings us back to immediate rewards. Use a habit tracker. Crossing off that day on the calendar feels good.
Don't break the chain. It's simple but addictive. Seeing a streak of 10 days makes you want to get to day 11.
So there you have it. Make it obvious. Make it attractive. Make it easy. Make it satisfying.
And if you want to break a bad habit, just invert them. Make it invisible. Make it unattractive. Make it difficult. Make it unsatisfying.
All right, before we close this massive episode, let's do one final vocabulary check. 3 key terms from this section. First, environment design.
That is, arranging your physical space to make good cues visible and bad cues invisible.
Second, temptation bundling.
Pairing an action you want to do with an action you need to do.
And third, friction.
The resistance that makes an action harder to perform. We want low friction for good habits, high friction for bad ones.
We hope this deep dive into atomic habits has given you the tools to change your life and your English 1% at a time.
Remember, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So go build a better system today.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. What is one tiny habit you will start today?
Thanks for listening. See you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.